Certain knives that have great presentation, this is actually going to be one of them. The other one's actually Tangram, which is one of my favorites as far as a box. But for this one, for V Nives, so this is the case that it comes in. And then let's see what type of knife is actually inside this box. Wait a minute, where's my knife? But truly, they did say to reuse the box, so once you get your knife, use the knife, use the box, snacks. How's it going, Placers? This is going to be the knife here. It is from V Nives. This is called the Deplorable. So this is a knife that Jerry Hossom went and actually said that Mike Vellenkamp did not have the ball bearings, to actually name this the Deplorable, and he did. So this is actually the Deplorable, and the G10 version is out currently. So the G10 you can get for $74.95, and then this is the titanium version. No prices on this one at this time, but this is the titanium handled ones, and then this is also in S35 VN. So before getting further into this one, did want to also give kind of a sneak peek at something that's coming up. It's a collaboration from a few different channels. We're going to actually be doing something that's a blind knife review. So I got the idea from Epic Snuggle Bunny. He had his little Barney box that he gets filled from Blade HQ. And then so he doesn't know what type of knife it is, and he kind of goes through and checks it out. We're actually going to have a blind review where we're going to have the kind of a presentation board, so like science projects. So that's going to be the wall between us and the knife. We're going to cut holes in the box, put our arms through the box, so you guys will be able to see the knife as we're handling it, and then we won't be able to see it, but we'll try and do a review blind, and we'll see how it goes. So it could go horribly wrong, but we'll see how it goes. And stay tuned, subscribe, and then check out these channels. So Blue Collar Survival, Signed On, Jack Farmboy, The Knife Beater, EDC with Aaron, and then also Shortcut Reviews and JT's Knife Life are those folks that actually are going to be part of that. So we're going to be filming it all. We're going to be kind of promoting it. Then we're going to drop the video one day. All the videos will drop at the same time, so you can go through each one of the channels and check out what we thought about the knife, how it went, and give us feedback on it. And like, share, subscribe. So that's the things that's going on for that. But going on to this one, so we're going to do a comparison on this. This is the one here. So the V Nives knife. So still a fairly new company, but they do have a good range, and they're coming out with more models. They even have one that's a hermit crab. That's like super tiny. It fits into like a clamshell for that one. But so for some of the things that are out, this new one I got in for the Statgear Ossus. And then we have the Cold Steel. There's the Code 4. Delica. Not Delica. Dividend. We have the full-size Griptilian and the Delica. And just because we have a GSD from CRKT. So those are all the different ones there. But for hand sizing, so we're rolling to that one. So as far as how this is going to be in your hand, I'll tell you right off the bat, no matter if you have probably monster hands, I mean, this is going to work for you. So we'll look at that. So now for the adult female hand, across, and then also going to be at that angle where you're going to be normally handling the knife, and then also for adult male, across, and then also in that normal handling position for that. So S35VN is the knife steel that this one is in. The other one that's G10 is going to be in OS 8. So those are the steels for those. But this one is going to be the S35. So corrosion resistance is on the higher end of things. Then we also have hardness, wear resistance for the blade, and also edge retention as far as the steel retaining a workable edge for it. So we're going to look at the action on this one as far as the pull. So that's one thing that the channel has. I use the Lyman pull gauge to get an idea as far as what the weight and pull of the action is in the D10 for flippers. So normally about 2 to 3 pounds is kind of a enjoyable flipping action. Anything more than that could be a little trying, but 2 pounds, 7.7 ounces for that. So still in that kind of sweet spot, at least for my impression of it. This one does have quite aggressive jimping on the tab, so I would prefer that to be a little bit softened. But if you do want to deploy it, I guess you want to make sure that your finger doesn't slip off. Because one thing that's for Jerry Hossom is on his website, he definitely wants his knives to be tools. Like one of his worst words for a knife is cool. He doesn't want it to be cool. He wants it to be useful. He wants it to be a tool that you're going to use. So if it turns out to be cool, then I guess that's how it goes. But he tries to get it where it's actually a functional tool for the knife. So that's one thing as far as what he puts in as far as the designs go. And then so this one only has the light switch action. So even with that 2 pound pull, this one basically has that light switch. It doesn't have the ability to do the push button. Inertia, I tried to shake this out. It doesn't open that way. So also, if it's going to be more of a tactical, a lot of times it seems like one of the tactical ways to open a knife is a two-handed. So this one doesn't really have a good purchase or a way to grab onto it. So I've seen different demonstrations on it where basically when you take it out of your pocket, this one is going to be kind of just fixed onto the blade, because in those type of high stress situations, your hands might not actually work how you want them to. So you hold on to it and then you deploy the blade, and then this hand would actually go up and kind of protect your neck, your face, and then this one would be out in front of you. But it's not really a good way to grab onto that. So you're only going to deploy it with that tab. So that's one thing that I would think, if it's going to be more of a tactical knife, I would think that they would have something like that. But it still does deploy fairly well with it as far as that flipper tab. So we're going to look at the knife roll. This one actually has a very long handle. So for the knife roll from Blade HQ, it barely fit in there, kind of at the angle in there. So you can see the picture right up here as far as how that looked in that blade roll. And also, no, so this one, as far as weight goes, this one comes in at 7.7 ounces, as you see on the scale picture there. And then the G10 version of this one comes in at 5.9 ounces for the Deplorable. So there's a fairly large weight difference. I mean, you're almost looking at 2 ounces of weight loss going from titanium to the G10 version. And then we'll look at also the blade grind. Looking at the pocket microscope, you can kind of see that it's fairly aggressive grind. So it's pretty coarse as far as that goes. So you can see that picture there. And then we do have the photos of the measurements of the blade and also the handle. So that's where now you're going to be looking at about almost a 4-inch. I got actually a 4-inch blade on it. Cutting edge is a little bit smaller. And then you look at the handle length as well. But as far as sharpness goes, this one actually is a very sharp blade. So as far as sharpening goes, they did a really good job on it. So that it came out to be about 184 on the sharpness test. So that's going to put into basically a utility razor blade as far as this blade sharpness. So that's actually fairly good, because you go from that level to high-end cutlery, which is not as sharp. So the razor blade for that utility razor is actually fairly high. So those are different things on there. It only has one carry on it option, and that's going to be tip up, right hand carry. and then kind of a different clip for it as far as how that goes, but it does sit kind of high in the pocket as well. But also, if you're going to be trying to get to it, that might be a good thing. So for this one, as far as a buy, bar, or avoid, for titanium model, it's definitely going to be more of a borrow because just a few things with it, and then also just with probably the price tag once this does get released, it's going to be a fairly premium price. And then, but for the G10 version, which just got released, I just saw it today, and it is on their website already. So $74.95 for the G10 with OS8, lighter almost by 2 ounces. So if that's going to be something that you're looking for, and a design blade that probably most people aren't going to have, and then that would be kind of the middle of that. So it's still kind of the borrow, but kind of leaning more towards buy for that one as far as the G10 version of this. There's multiple colors available. So those are the kind of the overview for that. So check it out. And then also going back to that box, which I had the snacks in. So that is the box that's available for it. It does have the insert for it, and it also does come with some extra hardware. So this was a little bit difficult to get out of the box, but I do actually recommend that you use the box. So that's one thing that they even asked you even can post it to Instagram or Facebook as far as what did you do with the box afterwards? Because a lot of times, at least for myself, I have a stack of boxes and I don't use them. So they're saying use the box that we gave you and tell us how you actually used it. First aid kit, whatever else you're going to use for it. So very good. Thank you very much to V Nives. They did provide this knife for review, and thank you very much for your time.